Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Alan and I'm in Living St Anne's near Blackpool to see the very final house that George Formby owned and the story behind it as well. He named it Beryldene after his wife Beryl, and he lived in it from 1953 to 1961. So basically 8 years, and it's a lovely house. I've seen it, I'm going to show you it in a minute. But there is a little bit of slight scandal with it because in 1960 his last TV appearance occurred, and 2 weeks later unfortunately Beryl died. And then 7 weeks after her burial he announced his engagement to Pat Howden, and she was the beneficiary of his entire will, I believe, including this house. And there was a massive sale, but I'm going to tell you about it on the way over. So let's head off. So I'll tell you about the sale of the property whilst we go over. He actually bought it for £6,000. It was on sale for £7,000 and he got it down £1,000, and it sold in 2012 for £895,000. So that's quite an increase, isn't it? But you'll see it's a lovely house. It's still got the stained glass windows somewhere in the UPVC frames that were there when George lived in the house, and it's still got the original panelled hallway and various other features. But you can see it there. Here's the plaque. The gates were wooden when George lived there, so they're different gates, but there's the plaque. George Formby OBE, George Hoy Booth, 1904 to 1961, a musical entertainer and comedian. He bought Sintra, that was its original name, from the tenor Joseph Locke in 1953. The house was renamed Beryldene after his wife, and he lived here until his death, aged 56, in 1961. Living St Anne's Civic Society. So there we go. Looks very much like it did at the time. But on the day of the auction there was about 1,000 items for sale, and well, over 1,000. And Pat was a bit unrespectful. She left everything in, included his soil underpants, seemingly. So she didn't really care about his image. Kind of says something about her, doesn't it, really? Yeah, so it's got to be over £1 million, I would think, that now, well over. What always gets me is you can't actually see the sea, look. The sand dunes stop it. So there even was a rumour that the dog was sold. There's a picture of the dog, and the queues of people down this driveway stretched everywhere. There was a marquee in the back because all the fans turned up to see the house, and I think it's been developed into the loft now as well. But yeah, there was queues of people and every item was sold, and the property sold for less than the auctioneer was trying to get. It sold for £9,000. So there we go. So we're gonna head over now to see the headstone for Beryl. I mean, she was a tough woman. She was a bit ruthless. She was maybe not the nicest person, but she certainly was the one that projected George's career. Without Beryl, they often say there would have been no George Formby. So let's head over there now. See you in a minute over at Beryl Stone. Okay, hello everyone. I'm at Lytham Park Cemetery to find a headstone to commemorate the life of Beryl Formby. She's really called Beryl Ingham Booth, but of course she was married to George Formby, and I know where it is approximately, so we're going to go look at it in a second. Just look at the location here, it's lovely. See the water with the water lilies. There's a very big burial going on at the moment, lots of cars and somebody walking slowly with the pole, you know, in front. So I kept out of the way for a while, had a little rest, and then came up when it had quieted down a little bit. Anyway, we'll head off. The story behind this is that Beryl was a bit of a ruthless woman, very hard in business. But the thing is, they often say there would have been no George Formby if it hadn't been for Beryl, because she was the one that was the powerhouse and the strong one in business. So she didn't really get a big affair like George did, you know, with his big burial. But she was cremated, and it does say that it's an NCH, which is not cremated here, so nobody really knows, but probably her ashes were spread here. It looks that way with the stone, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, it's the only physical aspect that's still here to commemorate the life of Beryl. And the sad thing is that it wasn't paid for, the headstone, the original one in 1961. It wasn't paid for by George because he died only 7 weeks after Beryl had died. George announced that he was going to marry Pat Howson. So this stone was never paid for by George. Maybe if he'd have lived longer he would have paid for it, but he didn't. And it was paid for by Harry Scott, who was the valet for George Formby. Now, it made some rumours up. People at the time obviously thought maybe there was more to Harry Scott and Beryl than meets the eye, but you know, nobody knows that. Nobody knows, so you know, forget that. The fact is, maybe he was just very grateful that he had the job. He was the valet and bag carrier for you know, for George, and that's why he paid for the stone. But we don't know. But I'm going to spin this round now, and then we'll find it. It's a very windy day today. Now it's on the right hand side, and it's been replaced. It's not the one from 1961. It's been replaced by a George Formby Appreciation Society. Don't know the exact name, but it should be easy to see because it'll be a lot brighter than the rest of them. So, we're coming up, getting close to the end, so it's got to be somewhere here. There we are. Yes, it's standing straight, standing proud. There we are. Okay. Sacred to the memory of Beryl Formby, from Harry and family. Died the 25th of the 12th, 1960. There we go. Okay, Beryl, well, thank you very much for the great work you did for George Formby. You played your part for sure. Well done. Probably would have been no George Formby that we know if it hadn't been for you. Well done. So the thing is, it does not matter really. At least it's got the headstone there, and we can't say any more than that. It was nice of Harry to do it, and maybe George would have, well, very likely he would have done something if he'd have lived longer. But so that's the end of the film, and please subscribe, ding that bell because you'll see the new film's coming up straight away. You'll get a notification, and a thumbs up and a comment would be lovely. And I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are. This is a gorgeous little spot, even though it's very windy. Look, it's exceptionally nice here really. I came here the other week because it got my favourite comedian, Les Dawson. He's buried here. I'll leave a link to it on this film. Les is great as well. So I hope you enjoyed the film, and see you again soon. Take care everyone. Bye bye.